those days. Get the note set up here. Smash. First to the gate. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Mm-hmm. 8 months. Good morning. All right, marbles. Let's do this. I'm gonna go grab a coffee. You know how we do this, right? I'm gonna go grab a coffee. You guys will do this thing. Let's pick. Let's do this. Jump hot hype. All right. I'm going to leave this open. You're racing against me, of course, as per usual. Winner gets to pick the ticker. Join up. I'm going to grab a coffee, some water, and I will be right back. Ooh, Lethal 2 months in a row. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Loves it. Loves it. All right. If you're not in, get in because we are going. Oh, good chances to win today, boys. Good chances to win. Doesn't look like there's a ton of people here. We got it. The bleeding has stopped. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Probably going to be around to about 10:30 today, guys. I've got some meetings to take care of, some personal financial things to take care of. So, going to get that knocked out of the park today. Nice smash. Yeah. Oh, it's just F Wednesday. This is what happens on F Wednesday. Everybody gets the F, the big old F, right? Yeah. Yeah, I was talking with a couple of my buddies last night, and it was like, yeah, down 25 grand. They're like, what the hell? We couldn't. No, $25 would be hard. It's like, well, I mean, that's sometimes what you got to do. Endo just takes it. Wasn't even close. Winner. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever had a week that I've been down so much in a single week. I think this is probably OMFG. Is that the ticker that you want? Is that a ticker? No. That'd be fun if it was. Twould be fun. You did win. You get to pick the ticker, sir. All right, guys, it is pot day in New Jersey, so I will be watching that as we come out the gate, taking a look at a couple of other plays as well. Yeah, I mean, that's Pelosi's MO, right? Is to constantly say it's coming, but she doesn't actually decide that. So, oi, oi. Who's the governor of New Jersey? Anybody know? Bill Murphy? I mean, you pick, man. Whatever you want. Yeah, today's the deadline. Today's the deadline. The talks haven't broken down. He just has to come to some sort of decision on the enforcement of minors. KRKNF. Okay, I can definitely do that. Yeah, these guys have had a nice little run. This is PNG. Nice little run. Hello, hello, hello. Hmm. Bump, 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 bump. Yeah, but he still has to come to terms with it, so he can still revise the legislation. Howdy, Nebuchadnezzar. Bump, 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 bump. It will not be a super. Oh, Sherrod Brown tweeting. What's he got? What's he got for us? Did he tweet a reply? Is that what happened there? Still nothing from these guys on legalization. The only trades I have taken very few trades. Oh, I closed my journal out. Hold on. Very few trades this week. It's been a very red week. My capital is pretty much tied up. No trades. So the 16th, I took a bunch of trades, just repositioning. Took about a $3,000 gain on the week. Leveraged into SNDL. No trades on the 17th. Single trade to DCA on the 18th. And then today, I don't think that I'm going to be taking any trades. So SNDL for me is fine. Honestly, guys, I'm not sweating SNDL. When legalization happens, I think that this is one that just goes back up. I averaged down a little bit. I did have a 250 average. I'm currently sitting at a 212. I will probably look to average down again. Yeah, I'm still in T-God. Down 13K on it. Yeah, SNDL definitely has U.S. acquisition in mind. I think that Grapefruit is who they're going after, but yeah, in my opinion, I think that they are well poised to make a U.S. acquisition. The question is, when do we get that PR? With T-God, I think is one that we're looking that it's going to get acquired in some way. Their sales are good, their revenue is good. They're not bleeding out as a cannabis company in Canada. They're doing quite well for themselves. They've got exposure to Europe, which is fantastic. I don't hate T-God. It's just it's a longer hold. It's a longer hold than I really wanted it to be. And that's kind of the problem. The sizing is a big problem for me for sure. I didn't want to be 70,000 shares deep into this thing, but what are you going to do? Double filled is double filled. Jay. Sorry, my son's climbing on the window. Um, yeah, I got double filled. So I wanted a 35,000 position, and instead I've got a 70,000 position. So there's about 42 grand in there. That's a thing. It's a thing. That's just it. If it pops, they get an announcement that Palantir looks solid. Arc picked up a huge holding. I think that looks really solid. Up 8% pre-market. It recovered from everything it lost yesterday. How do you manage DCA versus stop loss cutting losses? For me, it's all about the DD. Has anything changed with the fundamental analysis that I did, or the initial analysis, I should say? The double fill happened because it showed canceled on my trading dashboard, but it actually was filled. So I had an order for 35,000 that I put in after the initial cancellation, and even though the one was canceled, it was filled. So it showed cancel on my dash, but I had the shares fill. Um, so, but yeah, with the for me, I look at the DD on it, and I'm going, okay, well, what was the DD on getting into T God, on getting into SNDL, on getting into Zomedica, and getting into FTOC? Has anything changed with any of those? And for me, Zomedica was into the end of March. I'm waiting on Trueforma pre-orders. I'm waiting on the initial sales reports on that. I imagine we see PR on that heading into March here over the next couple weeks. With SNDL, that's a play on legalization. So as more and more states legalize and they start to acquire more and more stakes in companies, I'm more than happy to just sit and wait for that to take action. I think Zomedica has a good opportunity to head towards that $10 mark. That's very common for bios once they start get selling their first big product. So if we see a decent pre-order number out of this Trueforma thing, I think there's a very good chance we see Zomedica head for $10, which will, I mean, I'm down 4 grand on it right now, but the reality is if it goes to 10, I quadruple in that position, right? That 37.5K goes to 135,000. I'll make another 100 grand off of that play. I'm okay waiting. Yeah, smash lights. That's exactly it for me. And I know I had played at the start of the year with a 10% down roll, but it just doesn't seem to be holding true because with these, I'm more than happy to hold these positions, right? Um, I'm down 30% in Sundial right now. Why do I think it'll hit 10 as a price target? I traded bio the majority of last year, and biopharmaceutical companies, guys, when they get their first designation, whether it's an application for tech, which is what Trueforma is, or you see something like their first medication hitting the market, typically see a stock go to 10, somewhere in the 10 to 15 range. So as Trueforma is their first big break, it's got a lot of press around it. A lot of people are watching it. Everybody's just waiting in anticipation for those pre-orders. So Um, I also am a big fan of the gut smash. I like trusting my gut because when I do trust my gut, things go well, and when I don't trust my gut, I get out of plays too early. So like MRS, I dipped a day before it spiked, right? PNG, the one that we're watching today, Kraken F, right? I think that SNDL has a good case to head back up towards $5. I do. I'd love it at 8 or 10, but I think towards 5. But it's just going to be that hypey stock. Yeah, right now that's what I'm in. Check out CTXR. They're in a phase 3 trial right now. I typically want to see phase 3 approval before I start trading something. I think they're too far out here still for me. I'm not a fan. Um, Yeah, I don't know about charting on FTOC. FTC is driven simply by the news. So if they drop a vote next week, if they drop a name change, for me, the FTOC is actually looking like more of a long-term hold because I think Payoneer is probably going to do some kind of an announcement that they are going to be involved in Bitcoin, much like the other platforms. So I think that Payoneer has some really solid stuff. Price target on BTWN, 20, $25. How do you feel about CCIV SPAC guys starting new SPACs? Do you like their track record? I'm not a fan of CCIV. I think it's been one of the overhyped ones. For me, I think that it's a lot like Pershing as well, where there's a lot of hype, a lot of hype, a lot of hype, but no action. I almost prefer my SPACs to be the other way of like BTWN. unless there's something happening, you don't hear anything. This constant game of we might be, drives me nuts. I just don't have the time of day for that crap. Drives me absolutely nutty. Bridgetown 3 is not going to have Peter Thiel attached to it, though. It's just Richard Lee, and I'm a little less confident about that. CCI, have you said verbally they were merging with Lucid already? Who said that? It's on rumors. It's all on rumors. There's no confirmation. Possible deal, rumors. There's been no official confirmation from CCIV that that's happening. Yeah, that's an ambulance chaser chainmail. Whenever you see an FDA warning, anytime you have any PR whatsoever in a bio stock, an ambulance chaser is going to put out a call for it. Unless you see a lead plaintiff, it does not matter. Hydrogen trucks looking to enter market via SPAC. I like WPRT better than that. ACQ, they're probably going to be combining with ordinary materials, carbon negative materials. If I'm going to play something like that, I'm probably playing LAC. Thoughts on BTCC? I actually like it. The Bitcoin ETF. I'm kind of a fan of that. Easy. Thanks for the follow, man. Let me know how you found the stream, what it is you trade. Yeah, I'm kind of a fan. I'm kind of a fan of BTCC. I don't typically like ETFs, but as a way to just have exposure to crypto, I like it. Yeah, I unfortunately, given the target that I'm setting, SNDL receives 89 million proceeds from warrant exercises, issues new warrants. Announced today that holders of 98 million warrants to purchase shares will exercise for cash their warrants at 80 and 110 for gross proceeds to SNDL of 89 million. That's a lot of shares. Via Twitter. Nice. Oh, thank you, Lovey.
Your pot of coffee is brewing.
Thank you.
Leaving.
Good. I love you.
So I'll keep you up with it.
Okay. Yeah, chainmail. That's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. Of like, know your DD, be on it. Warren Buffett exits gold entirely. Of course he is. Is that good or bad news for SNDL? I see it as good news. People exercising their warrants means that you exercising their warrants means that they're taking the position, right? They're buying shares of the company. 89 million in shares. What is that? How many shares is that? 89 million divided by what's their stock price right now? $1.40. Like that's a butt ton of shares. That's 63 million shares. Yeah. Yeah, you guys can post a link. If you guys bone me on a link, if I open it up and it's something that's DMCA or it's inappropriate, I just never open a link for me again. What are these? What am I looking at here? If this is TA, man, I don't know what to tell you. What are we looking at? Spy charts? February 2020. Except this fall is the direct result of COVID. This was the start of COVID. Yeah, this was the pandemic. There is definitely a very similar chart pattern here. I'll give you that. Um, but understand that the difference we're going to see is this is COVID. This is going to be stimulus. I think we see this go the other way. Mighty Pawn, no, I can't. I can't look at that link. No. Um, yeah, no, I'm monetized on YouTube. So for me to watch another streamer's content while I'm being monetized on YouTube, I don't feel is legit. I'd hate to do that to another creator. I wouldn't want to do that, right? Fuquan, you want me to take a look at CBAT? Yeah, I've looked at this one before. I mean, this is big for them, Neo. I don't hate this play. I don't hate it. Maybe $15 on the year is kind of where I would put it. It's not bad play. I don't despise it by any means. Um, they missed on earnings, but this is from 2011, so who knows, right? Ring Energy, REI. Hmm. Oil, natural gas in Texas and New Mexico. This Texas thing is a blip, guys. It's 2 weeks. Natural gas is not a terrible play. The exposure to natural gas, but don't expect these guys to be the big players in that. I like AR better than I like Ring Energy, I think. KHC. Market's open though, so let's take a look at the big sheet here. KRKNF giving back a little bit of the gains. We're talking a couple pennies here from yesterday. It had quite the day. See, it's got this nice growth pattern here through the week from 50 cents to 80. So, guys, disclaimer on that note: no recommendations to buy or sell anything. You should not take anything seriously from myself or anybody in the chat. Nobody is a financial professional. Please, please, please do not take financial advice from somebody you don't know on the internet. If you need financial advice, go seek a financial advisor wherever you are. Somebody who has the accreditation, who knows what they're doing. Please, please, please do not listen to some hobo Canadian on the internet as to what you should trade. This is educational purposes only. Okay. Educational purposes only. I'm here to show you guys how I trade and what my thought process is. I am not here to give you guys tips and stock trading advice. So that's just not the way she goes. Okay. Zemedica's doing nicely. I'm okay with Zemedica. Hey, look, it's up $1,000 today. Great, love it. I would love a green day to end the week. SNDL though is down significantly, so they are down a lot. Which is funny because I think the news of the warrants is a great piece of news for them. I don't understand the downward price movement, but it is what it is. Man, 61 million traded on it, and we're in the first 3 minutes. Yeah, it looks like this is going to level out somewhere around the 65-70 range until there's more news. I think it comes back down to this range. Still up from here, but I think this is where it likes to play. Go to the watch list. A lot more green on here than red from yesterday. SHG just keeps trucking. Zomedica's up 3.5%, not looking bad. AQB's looking good. AMTX is looking good. Playboy continues to do quite well. Clover Health, it's up a little bit. It's down significantly. Clover's just taking a pounding, but once we get into healthcare, this is going to do quite well. Only 300 shares at 221. Yeah, I've got a little bit more than that in Zomedica. I'm sitting on 15,000 shares at 250. So, yeah, I am in wait. I'm in hold mode. I'm in hold mode on my portfolio into what looks like the end of March, where it's just going to be diamond hands and hold. Trusting my DD. Yeah, I'll take tickers, guys. I'll probably be around until about 10:30. So Ebon is flying. Yeah. Nope, T God's still there. It's just in my Canadian margin. It's not in my US side. Uh, it's there. 70,000 shares of it. EVAX. Let's take a look at EVAX. What do we got? IPO is the only news on it. Based out of Denmark. Pipeline. Phase two. Phase two. Phase two. There's nothing here that's even phase three. Yeah, I don't like it, man. I like to play in this area. When it's coming towards the end of phase three, that's when I like to play. This is too soon for me. This is way too soon for me. This is too soon for me. I mean, Roscoe, I thought that approval should have already happened. Literally, they just need one guy to sign a piece of paper. So, oh yeah. Zomedica's initial pre-order results. Um, that'll probably drive, in my opinion, close to 10, $8 to $10. But from there, as they increase the designations that the tool can perform, and they get those approvals, it's just going to keep growing from there. It could be a potentially really strong hold into the 15, 20, 30 range over the next 5 years. So the drugs aren't really the play here. Well, this is the AI platform. This isn't a drug. AI platform. Pioneer and Eden. I can't think about anything. My capital is tied up. I've got nowhere to go, nothing to do. I wish there was other news other than that, but there's not. Excuse me. So this puts Sundial with close to $800 million in their pocket. Rapid vaccine development. I mean, that could definitely be a thing. PMTS. Nice, man. Nice grab on Palantir. PMTS. We'll see what stimulus does. I think stimulus is going to take a little bit of the air out of the COVID play or the crypto play. I think we see Bitcoin come back down on stimulus, not go up. PMTS CPI card group. Design, production, data, personalization, packaging, fulfillment of financial payment cards. Oh, they crushed on their earnings. They did quite well on their earnings. I don't hate it. It's on the OTC, but I don't hate it. Nobel Prize panelist. I'm more fan-socky of finding people that are great salespeople than I am of finding the scientists behind it. Just because you're a Nobel Prize winner doesn't necessarily mean anything as far as your ability to sell and market the product. When is the stimulus expected? If you believe Pelosi, the end of February. Develop a vaccine traditionally takes 5 years to discover potential candidates with the platform in 48 hours. Yeah, but you also have to keep in mind that the big money market is the US, and the US very rarely likes to work with Europe if there's a US alternative. My question would be why this over Absalra? And I don't think that the US would get on board. And if the US isn't going to get on board with it, if they're going to go Peter Thiel instead, I'd rather have my money there. Apple has been cucking me. Thought it would have been fine after their earnings. Their earnings was phenomenal. I think Apple is really, really strong. Um, it's not that it's a terrible play. It's just I like Abceller better. I think. Um, yeah, Apple's in a great place right now for that buy the dip. They just had the best earnings they've ever had, and this is where we are. Like they're declining. At, for Apple not to be a $200 stock by the end of the year, like okay, I think that's the direction it's going. Let's check dip ranks. Let's see here. What do people see Apple at? 175, 170. Yeah, a lot of that 160, 170 range. There's one guy here who's being a dick about it, but I mean the rest of them are seeing 175, 170. Yeah, yeah, Siseki, I'm of that same opinion. I don't think that this has anything to do with Apple. I think this has to do with the market as a whole, for sure. For sure. Well, I'm green on the day ish. SNDL and Zemetica are fighting for who's going to make my portfolio red or green on the day. Um, Up about 1,500 on Zemetica. So typically Zemetica does perform well over the weekend. So as we go into the end of the day, I think Zemetica does buy up. With SNDL, I mean it's holding this 130 right now. I think yeah, if Apple does get into Bitcoin, there's definitely a big play to be made on that. Whole bunch of new warrants with a price of $1.50, and it's sitting at $1.30 right now. Like, yeah. For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. The new warrants are $1.50. SNDL. They raised another 89 million. So they had 690 million already. This takes them close to $800 million in hand with no debt. They exercised at a price of 80 to $1.10. Which makes sense because if they exercise these, then I guess they're profit taking today on that, right? But the company is issuing 98 million new warrants at $1.50 each, right? So these previous warrants were 80 cents to $1.10. So people are exercising on the warrants and then cashing out. But the new warrants are $1.50. Like, they're immediately exercisable and have a term of 42 months from the effective date. You don't put out warrants at a higher price than you are currently at unless you think that that's the direction the stock is going to go. I think SNDL has a lot going for it, and I think that you're going to hear a lot of news out of them over the next little bit. This is hilarious. This article came out yesterday after the Mortal Kombat trailer asking, well, why isn't Chun-Li in the trailer?
That's street. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said.
Like, my only grievance is that I wish that his "get over here" was a little bit more, dramatic. But
I loved everything about it.
I knew Mortal Kombat movie. I'm not gonna complain. I've been waiting years for this.
I'm not going to be seeing it in theaters. It's not one of those that I think I got to go see in theaters. I'll probably direct stream it, but yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Just a second here, guys. I got a call from my love. Yeah, Bitcoin is over 53,000 for sure. So let's see stimulus. Let's see what's going on with stimulus news.
I keep hearing so many things about like, oh, how it's not passing. Now it is passing. If you got it already, then if you haven't got it already, then you're not getting it. Now I hear like Pelosi's pushing it to like end of Feb and stuff. It's like it's a
Vote
big
next week, next Friday, in the House. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has Democrats gearing up for a floor vote at the end of next week. She said they were communicating with the Senate to ensure the bill complies with budgetary rules. Democrats want to enact the package by mid-March before federal unemployment programs expire. Okay, so what we're looking at is a timeline. If this goes perfectly by their calendar, it would be passed next Friday, delivered to the Senate Monday, another week. So they're voting on the 26th. It would be in the Senate's hands the Monday. They're hoping the Senate votes on it by the Friday, and then we have rollout by the 12th. How will stimulus bring Bitcoin back down? I think there's a lot of people that are hedging with Bitcoin right now. And I think what starts to happen when we see stimulus go out is money going back into the market, into the equities, instead of outside of the market in Bitcoin as a safe haven. That's just my own opinion on that. I'm sure there are people that feel like stimulus checks are just going to go into Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of sentiment around Bitcoin right now that this has run really hard and really fast, and there might be an argument for just holding your breath a little bit on it. Just since a month ago, it was sub 35,000. Like we were fighting with 30,000. It could be otherwise. It could for sure. I just don't think that that's what we see happen. Yeah, SNDL is killing me today. Just killing me. I'm now down 10 grand in that position. And this is that hard part. I trust the DD on it. If it was any other company, and I told you guys that it was debt free with nearly $800 million in hand in an industry that was about to be legalized and supported by the US federal government, don't tell me you wouldn't be all over that. If this was an EV play, I don't care about their market cap and the amount of shares they've got in. Forget all that nonsense. For me, in my opinion, the play is this. It is a pot company with a shit ton of money. Just a ton of money. So you don't follow your own trading rules anymore. Well, my trading rules are flexible to change as I change them. So that 10% rule has been one that I tried to introduce at the start of the year. And what I found is holding to my DD is a lot more profitable than getting out at a 10% loss. Do I see Zemetica or SNDL or FTOC not coming back to profitability? No. I'll wait. SNDL got lucky. Yeah, they definitely did. They got lucky and they took advantage of the Wall Street bets hitting into it for sure. So Gobbler, so this is one of the misconceptions is that they are only a Canadian company. Sundial actually has ownership of companies that have EU exposure. They've got medicinal exposure. They've got recreational exposure. They've got edibles. They've got oils. They've got dry cannabis. And on top of that, they've got $800 million and they are actively pursuing US companies to buy up. So that's what that $800 million makes super sexy, is that they've got more and more money to just pick somebody and buy them. Honestly, if I was them, grapefruit is something that they're talking to. if you had got stopped out on those, you could have worked other plays or bought back in at a lower price if SNDL goes sub $1 again. I could have. That's true. That's true. Or I'm already ahead of my target because I had to be at 100 grand by the end of February, and I'm already there. I'm already there. So for me, like I'm there, I hit that target. I'm not in a rush. I don't need to rush to 200,000. I've got until the end of April to get to 200K. And by the end of April, I think Zomedica will have moved in a massive way. And that's going to get me to the 200,000 mark. Just Zomedica's position is going to get me to that 200,000 mark, which means that I can then wait for FTOC, which was going to be the first half of 2020, 2021. FTOC, that play is probably before June they go through. I don't think so, Saki. So Grapefruit has already announced that they've been in conversation with a Canadian company. In likelihood, I think it is going to be. I think it is going to be SNDL that they've been talking to. It could be Hexo, but Hexo just acquired Indiva, right? The funny thing with that, or Zanabis. The funny thing with that is Zanabis has an outstanding agreement to pay a percentage of their revenue to SNDL, to pay a percentage of their revenue for the next 8 years to SNDL. So that means Hexo, by acquiring Zanabis, is now going to be paying Sundial for the next 8 years on any revenue from the Zanabis lines, which is great because now SNDL has another company that is paying them capital. They have two companies now that are paying the capital, one from Europe, one from Canada. Hexo is not a huge player, but they're also not a super small player. Tilray just bought Afria. I don't know that they're going to keep going. FTOC's Payoneer. FinTech into this year, I'm bullish on it. I'm bullish in a big way on FinTech. I'm not super concerned about it. Payoneer has great exposure in Asia. So the way that I see my calendar playing out, what I'm kind of playing out in my mind is Zomedica into the end of April is going to probably, in my opinion, go somewhere around $8 to $10. If it does that, I've made that 100 grand for that period. I'm looking good. At that point, I have until the end of June, right? End of April for 200 grand. And then I have May, June to make another 100 grand, which it could easily be FTOC. I think FTOC's got a ton of possibilities with Payoneer. And then at that point, we're heading into the summer, at which point I think we're already going to be in legalization somewhere. We're going to have most of the major states. I think New York will be there by then. New Jersey will be there. California's already there. I think that we see those states pumping out legal pot. The federal government's going to have to do something, especially since it's New York and California, and they want to try to make as much money as possible for New York and California, and all they've done right now is put handcuffs on them. So for me, the way that I see this play out for the next little bit is yeah, they're listed online with pretty much everything in Canada. But the beautiful thing is this: the timeline that I see playing out on this is okay. Zomedica into April, FTOC into June, and then into August, the pot plays SNDL and TGOT are going to be there. Hawaii is legal for medicinal, is not legal for recreational, but they do have legislation that's in front of their governing bodies right now. What do you think about GHSI? I feel like it was a healthy pullback and can make a big run up. GHSI, I played on compliance. They have their compliance, so I don't really know beyond that. That wasn't one that I did the due diligence on the company itself. I was just looking at it as a compliance play. Yeah, I mean, Zomedica's having a nice little day here. It's taking it back for me a little bit. As long as Zomedica outruns SNDL today, I might see a little bit of a recovery. Yeah, Gobbler, I agree. Yeah, so I mean, Zomedica's having a nice little day here today. SNDL is, I mean, it's just floating around this 130 line. Zomedica's up 7% today. I'll take that. Rebels in the house, guys. Speaking of financial professionals, Rebels was one, is one, can be one. So if you guys are looking for direct financial advice, Rebels is one of the guys that I throw out there as somebody you should contact for sure. He's a streamer here on Twitch. Definitely, guys, take the time to get to know the man if you are looking for somebody who's a professional. I am a degenerate Canadian hobo that does this for fun and education. This is not in any way financial advice. So Rebels has the ability and the expertise to actually provide you some decent financial advice personally, but that is done off mic and off stream, of course. In regards to FTOC, if everything is pretty much a done deal with Payoneer and now it's a waiting game, why are people still waiting to get in? What is the current risk unknown? And once Payoneer goes public, all the FTOC shares automatically convert. I think it's a large amount of SPACs in the market. The SPAC market is just absolutely inundated, right? And with that, being the case, people are just moving their money around to whatever's happening most recently, right? What's the next SPAC? What's the next SPAC? What's the next SPAC? Damn sexy hobo. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Have I already heard of Pclo? I've never heard of it, but let's see what we got here. Pclo. Pharmacello, Canadian ticker, Pclo. Not a lot here about these guys. Let's see what their Q3 results were. Revenue down of 77% year over year. That's not looking good. Medicinal cannabis. I like OGI better. OGI is actually the play that I would take on medical purely. CPRX. Catalyst. Decent revenue projections. Look at that.
I got an algorithmic question for you afterwards, by the way.
Oh, no.
No, it's something of your expertise.
Okay. Yeah, Catalyst has an approved designation, so I don't hate it. What is that right now? They must have done an offering. Yeah, I mean, this is undervalued for sure, I think, as a biostock with an approved thing. Just my opinion. Ooh, piece of candy, piece of candy. Yeah, Gobbler, that's rough. There's a lot of people that I think are still stuck in that ACAT.
All right. I think you cleared all the questions. So I got an algorithmic question that only you can answer. So in my studies for YouTube and stuff like that, I know to target high traffic, low impact, or whatever, the long tail keywords, all that sort of stuff, right? The stuff that TubeBuddy deems as green or whatever, good for your channel or whatever your topic of discussion is, or low
Yeah.
competition. My question is that I said that, like, because I'm not really ranked in some of the other categories, should I just use the same set of keywords? Because, like, I noticed on Graham Steffens, for example, right? For all his videos he uses the same keywords, but like he is so established in that what happens is that because he gets so many interactions, because he prompts people too, right? Because he gets so many engagements on his video, it pushes his video out in the algorithm to outside of his user base. So for him, something like that, keywords don't matter. But for someone like me, should I just keep using the keywords and trying to rank because like I have low views, low engagement, but and I figured the problem is that like I'm having conflict whether to keep using the same keywords or not because like even though I'm not ranking high on them, I could eventually, but the likelihood of that is very low. Or should I just keep
Yeah. So you've got 500 characters to use. Typically, what I
Mhm.
do is I've got about 400 of those that are the same keywords that I use for every video. And then that last 100, I make video specific, right? So if I'm doing a video of, today, SNDL and pot, right?
Mhm.
I'll use all the same keywords that I've already optimized for all of my stock videos. So stock trading, stock investments, all of that stuff. But then at the end of it, I'll have weed stocks, pot, SNDL, ACB, TLRY.
Whatever's
Like
hot,
I'll
yeah.
have all those there, right? But yeah, that last 100 words, I use that to be very specific. Now,
So I should probably go.
what I'm finding is the keywords are not as important as they once were. The
Mhm.
title is really the most important thing because there's people that show up on YouTube every day to watch, and the reality is I don't have keywords on my video right now. Like if I go live right now, if I go here and I go here, and I go here like this, uh, yeah, I don't have a thumbnail. I don't have keywords set up, and yet people are still able to find it. So, and then I can just input stocks updated.
So I should just do like a clickbait title keyword like why you suck at trading or something like that, and then like have on the tail end that gets cut off. It's like and what you can do about that or something.
I mean, so my title for every day has terms that I find work across all the platforms.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, like that's just how easy that was for me to add those terms in, right? Like I just, oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing.
Actually,
Yeah, so I
I've noticed.
import and that's it. Like it's done. And that's in
I've
there now.
noticed that in Tom Nash's videos lately, where he's just like, this stock will explode 400%. Don't miss out or something like that. That's his title, and then he has a clickbait title of like him going like, oh my god, 400%, on this stock or something like that. So,
Yeah, like I don't really I haven't been doing a good job with YouTube. I haven't been caring about it, which is I like it, and not the people that are on there. I love the community that's there, but as far as like what I know is good best practices for YouTube, I'm not taking the time to put in thumbnails. I'm not pre-scheduling. I'm not um my keywords aren't on everything. I'm not even monetizing every video like I should be. The reality is like it's not something I'm doing. I'm about to break 2,000 subs, which is fantastic. But the reality is like I'm
I
not
think
putting the effort in because I just rather build a community and do this low and slow.
I developed a theory and a plan over the weekend. So now that I got some of the base stuff out of the way, like I got all the trading vehicle series done or whatever. Um, I am thinking because okay, you know how Twitter, right? Like Twitter rewards like essentially polarized engagement, and it promotes it. So stock twits is something similar. So what I was planning on doing was that I was going to be again whatever hype stock is there, right? Like everybody's like hopes and dreams are in there. I'm going to post a video on there and write like this is why what was it? Tesla's going to fail or whatever, right? Because I've noticed that I actually got some traffic on the really obscure one that I posted there with the platinum thing. So I'm thinking I could probably bait a few people to do hate watch on that thing to get like somewhat of an engagement because like YouTube rates the negative interaction similar as a positive interaction, right? So I would imagine because people want to get their opinion on my video or dislike and react to it, that would actually help it. Despite that they hate and stuff like that, I would get, but um, honestly, like I know what I'm doing in that situation. I'm cognizant of it, but yeah, I don't know. Like, would that sound feasible or no? Because then that person that's hate watching will come back to try to hate watch constantly, and that's kind of like what Devin said about about your hate watchers and how these people get their audience to keep coming back constantly because the hate watchers are more valuable than the people who like you.
Yeah, I mean, you're just in a different place than I am, where I'm not looking to do all of that. Like, I'm just not looking to do that amount of work. For you, yeah, I mean, engagement is engagement is engagement, right? It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
When people hate on you, it's definitely to your credit. So, I'm just trying to find a freaking photo of me that I can use. Come on.
I thought Ahrefs was only for sorry, I saw it, Rathy. I thought it was only for the backlinks, but yeah, I'll check it out.
I'm trying to show you guys how quick this is to actually create a thumbnail here. It doesn't really take a lot of effort. I'm just too lazy to actually do it.
You
So
should have seen my last one. I just did a
I just put this
my last one. I
here.
just took a meme that I made earlier.
Pot. I wanna. Come on. Come on. Don't be that way. Oh, it's because I put that thing in the way. That's why. It's confused. Marijuana. And then we move this back over here like this. And then this can go away. And then this is file type PNG. Damshin, drop your YouTube channel in chat. People want to know where they can find you. Like this is the work that I should be doing every morning before I go live on YouTube, is setting it up to monetize, putting in the keywords, yada yada yada. I don't do it because I'm lazy. Uh, there's no other word for it. It's literally just because I'm lazy. Got a bunch of playlists here. I can't even remember what it is that I put this under, but
My biggest problem right now is that I don't talk about like hot topics. I talk about very obscure or very specific topics, and I figured, well, with the whole polarization that everybody's in and the way everybody's programmed nowadays, it's like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just go on these sites and what was it like, do the like reasons why Tesla will, if the market crashes, Tesla will likely be the cause or something like that, right? Like something that will be like, what the fuck did he just say, that sort of thing. And yes, Smash Ice. That is a meme I did not release. It was something I posted, but I never. Sorry, something I made and never released. And I just said, "Fuck it, I think this is most appropriate thumbnail for it." So it's very what was it? I don't want to say appropriate. I guess it's like it looks catchy. Something I'd probably click on.
Wouldn't I color stock to make it pop out more? There's a dozen different things I could do. I could pull in color theory. I could do shapes. I could do angles. I could do line movement across the page. Like I said, I'm just lazy. I'm trying to show you guys the simplest way of doing it. Like, that took me a minute to create a thumbnail, and I should have just done that first. But
Thanks,
uh,
Thanatos.
yeah, but I didn't. Abaz, just now I'm seeing with Cheer. because I'm a bit of a goofball. But thank you so much for that cheer, man. But yeah, I mean, like that's how it is. That's as easy as it is. I could schedule this ahead of time. I could go onto Restream and do all this work. I just don't. Just don't. I don't. I'm really past it. I only have 2 clients left with digital marketing. I love their product. I love the people that work at those companies. That's the only reason why I'm still there. But beyond that, guys, I don't care. I don't care. I'm at that point now where I am a stock market trader. That's what I do.
I've been wanting to learn for so long because everybody that I've come across is like literally boiled down to like you gotta get your keywords on point, and then you gotta go buy Google Ads. Like I'm like what? So I could just have no keywords and buy Google Ads and just have Google push out my shit, and whether it's successful or not, well, whatever. It's like
I really hate that. I hate everything about that of like just buy ads. Oh great, yeah. Fantastic. Great
I,
way to create a community.
you know why I loved working with that boss I had at that perfume warehouse, Millennial, is because he had the same offer from one of his brother-in-law's friends, where he said that yeah, I'll take $1,000 up front and then 10% of all your ad spend. He asked the same question I did the first time out. I said that wait, so your whole deal is that you're gonna help make me more money, but I have to spend more money to make more money.
Yeah, and then they'll get
It's
back
like
to you with, well, yeah, you got to spend money to make money. That's how it works. It's like, well, yeah, but I'd rather not spend that money on you. I don't need to pay you. Like,
exactly. So it's like
you
so
need. I understand that you need me to pay you, but I don't need to pay you. Now there are exceptions to that because there are people out there that I know that are worth every penny. But
he was like, so basically what you're telling me is that the more money I spend, the more money you make, but you have like no track record or no guarantee of how much money I can make other than like your Shopify drop shipping store or whatever that crap. Like, fuck off.
yeah, there's no guarantee on the money you're gonna make. I think a lot of good marketing professionals will say you're gonna make more money than you were making. There's a lot. That's how I initially started my consultancy. Was like, here's how this is gonna work. I'll do a month for free, and if you're not making enough to pay me what I'm asking after that month, I'm not doing things right. And that's
Oh,
how I picked up my initial clients. Like,
oh,
you aren't paying me anything technically because of what I made for you. I'm just taking a portion of that. You're still green. Like, you're not just bringing me on and I made enough money for you to pay my salary. You're making my salary plus more by having me come on, which is always in their favor. Always, always, always.
yeah, but millennial, like this new generation's so entitled that they have to be paid $1 out of school because they are worth every penny, having zero experience, zero real world experience, zero results, zero everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing new. That's not this generation.
I know.
That's nothing new. That's been from the get go. Like, you watch. Anybody seen the Michael J. Fox movie? How I Got Started in Business, or what was it? My Successful Start in Business. Michael J. Fox. How to Succeed in Business. Yeah, this movie here. It's the same thing here. He gets out of college. Yeah, The Secret of My Success. That's the one.
No, but I'm gonna add it to my watch list later this
Yeah,
weekend.
it's the same idea where like he comes in, he's got his college degree but no experience, so nobody will hire him. Eventually, he has to go through a connection who's family in order to get a job, and then he works his ass off at that job, and he moves up the ladder, and he's able to become the CEO in 6 months because he's lucky like that. But yeah, I mean, this is not new. This has been around forever, guys. Actually, that's a good reminder. The book for last week, guys, was Reminiscence of a Stock Trader. Um, it's on the reading list now. That reading list, guys, is books that I have read that I have used to craft my own trading methodology. Um, the amazing thing with this book is written back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and how he traded the market through like 1880, 1890, 1910s. And honestly, it's almost like looking in a mirror to where we are currently. Um, the conversations they were having about short manipulation, the conversations they were having about there being a bubble, the conversations that they were having about things are overvalued and valuations aren't on point. This is in the 1800s and 1900s, and we're acting like where we are now is something new. It's completely the speech from Margin Trader or Margin Call with Jeremy Irons there, where he's like, "This is not new. This happens. These things happen. Everybody thinks of it. You hear." What book? Reminiscences of a Stock Trader.
Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, yeah, by Edwin Lafleur. I love that book.
Yeah. Yeah, this one.
Try to get the unabridged version, by the way. It is an excellent book.
I listen to these on Audible, but the books are here as well. But Reminiscences of a Stock of a Stock Operator. It really is almost a carbon.
The funny thing is that like Millennia hasn't been trading long enough for anybody to know this, but like so the funny thing is that a lot of these strategies from these old books, there was a time like probably about a couple years ago where only specific strategies worked, but the rest just like bombed. Like they just didn't do shit. But with the recent injection of volatility, all these random strategies in the past that hasn't worked before started working again. But this is a more of a quant thing that most people don't know about. But strategies, when you come up with a strategy, obviously, like everybody thinks that people, these quants or these algorithmic traders come up with one strategy and then they just make millions. Yes, it is true they make millions, but there's a time and place for them. Like they come into sorry, they sometimes come into seasonality. They say sometimes um, it's sorry, they sometimes come into seasonality or what is referred to as a regime. And when it stops working, it's literally just a regime change. So it stops working. Like it happens. Like some strategies are only good in super volatile environments. Some strategies are very good in super congested environments because they're taking like pennies, half pennies, et cetera, right? So um, you're seeing a lot of relevancy now because there's a lot of volatility, a lot of direction for the market. But other than that, like once we calm down from that, these strategies might move out of place. Also, later trend.
Oh man, look at this. So the ticker that I called out this morning, the shroom ticker, it's
Mhm.
halted right now.
Where is it? What's the ticker?
SHRM.
Oh, oh yeah, it's a
Oh, it's
Canadian
only
one.
halted on the Canadian market. So they've had a nice little dip down to 65, but this is a company that is doing shrooms and ketamine into California. Um,
Oh my god, I think Pure got. Wait, what? Oh, okay, yeah, that's why I'm not getting a code. I forgot that this is probably one of the Canadian ones that pulled out of IB.
Later, Trenton.
IB really screwed the pooch on this.
No, this is not Rebels on the mic. This is Redemption on the mic. Rebels was in chat earlier, lurking around. Med is popping also. Yeah. I mean, what I like
Rebels is
about
better.
these guys, what I like
Rebels is
about
better
these,
looking, so
what I like about these guys is they are buying into California directly, which is he's still here. There he is.
oh, that's
Um,
awkward. But
yeah, Redemption's got his girl crush. Uh,
he has better hair than me. Okay, I'm jealous of that. Like
I don't know about ETFs. I don't trade them. I typically stay out of ETFs. I'd rather rip apart an ETF and find something that I like inside of it. Endo, what ticker did you want me to take a look at, buddy? I see you redeem those channel points, so let's honor that and take a look there. Rebels, when are you going live, man? Because I think I'm gonna cut this stream loose in about 10 minutes here. So, Fergent, the link is read. PLTR is up 13%. Yeah, that's on Kathy Woods. Like she just grabbed it and ran with it, and everybody's like, "Oh, right, I want to be in that." DOCV. It's not even coming up. Cloud MD. Software and services. Tech company providing SaaS-based healthcare technology solutions to medical clinics in Canada. The company provides digital tech that connects doctors and allied. So whenever you see a company that provides services to Canada, realize that that's a small market and it's completely regulated by the government here, right? It's not private for profit. It's regulated by the government, which means they get told how much they're going to make off of their thing. It's very, very limited. I'm not a huge fan of it. The reason why I like SHG more. Okay, it won't be live for like 2 hours. I guess I'll send them over to hang stocky for a bit then. But yeah, I like SHG more because they're directly buying up clinics across the US. And they're doing WebMD stuff with that as well. So I mean their revenue projections look good. Q4 4 million, 7 into I think the healthcare sector is about to hit a boom into Biden care for sure. The revamped Obamacare that we've been waiting on. I think that the healthcare sector is about to get a huge boost. But again, I do like SHG more. Oh, Stock Jock. Yeah, no, I can definitely. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. It's just the 1K on Stock Jock though, right? Shell's Nigerian accounts are frozen in oil deal dispute. The oil markets are getting crazy right now. Who would have thought snow in Texas could rock the world like this? I'm not seeing anything else, guys. I will be looking at the catalyst tomorrow. So be around for that, guys. The due diligence stuff that I did. The weekly DD and recap, I will be doing that 1 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, man. Let me know how you found the stream, what it is you trade. So don't miss that, guys. I will be doing that weekly DD recap tomorrow. We also are coming towards the end of the month. So if you guys are a sub, you will get access to the trading journal at the end of the month. I'll send out a link. You guys will have access to it. And that just gives you an insight into, what my thought process was retroactively. It's not going to give you a ton of help proactively, but you'll better understand what's going on. MoneyGram canceled their earnings report today because snow in Texas. How is the weather in Canada? Snowy. But when we get snow, we know, our infrastructure is built to deal with it. So Martini Rita mentioned you a few times. Nice, man. Nice. Yeah. Martini's good people. Hopefully she's doing okay. I got so concerned about she was rocking it. I think that's what pisses me off the most is that she was rocking it and now she's not got to start over, but what is this? Okay. No, I don't want that. I want to go to stocks and bonds. There we go. Stock Jock. Okay. Earthquake in Oklahoma and Kansas City. All right, guys, we're going to go hang out with Stock Jock. Be nice to the guy. Treat him well. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. 3, 2, 1, later.